every single one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Good day, everybody. Whether it's morning, evening, or anywhere in between, welcome to unRekt Traders. We're going to start off with a quick recap on Cardano here. We're just going to look at the machine. But on the machine, from the last video I did, I said that Cardano would likely come down to the support level and into this 20. We were looking for it here. So last week we were sitting kind of at this level here. So we were looking for that continuation down to the mean reversion on that 20. And then because of where the 100 was sitting, we said that price wouldn't be able to go below that 100 other than by a wick. So that's kind of where we exactly came to. We came right down to the, we got the mean reversion on the 20. We came right down to the support on the top of that 100 Bollinger Band. So even for this week, no matter what happens, you know, this 100, top of this 100 Bollinger Band should hold, which is the yellow one here. And then if price does continue down, then it, you know, on the weekly it'll just be by a wick. And then by the end of this week, the body should still close above that 56 cents. So it's kind of where we're sitting right now. We come on the daily. We are looking for that mean reversion on 200. We are in trend on the 20 and the 10, 20 being the white. The 10 is starting to pop back up. And typically what we do see is when price does break out of a Bollinger Band for the first time, then it tries to come back in before exiting out one more time. So, as of right now, it's not showing it quite yet. The 50 is kind of a weak support and resistance. So if this 10 does kind of come up into this range, we're kind of seeing it already where the 20 is trying to get above that 100. The price is trying to get above the yellow 100 here and then trying to get into this 20 Bollinger Band, but it is acting as resistance because of where it's sitting right now. But, next today or tomorrow, so we could just kind of be range bound. Or we do continue in that trend, push down to that 3.2 or even down into this to the full mean reversion. That's probably not what's going to happen, but the 10 pushes up and we kind of come up into this range, filling these imbalances up to this last bullish candle or this little area. Let's mark it real quick. So kind of come up into this little area right here. The 50, I don't even think getting to that 50 to be honest. Just kind of coming into the bottom of this little layer down here, filling this imbalance, 50% of this candle or whatever, and then continuing to the downward direction. That's kind of what I would be expecting. Again, we are just in trend looking for that mean reversion as of right now, so we're not really getting any clear signals here of that will we pop up here. It's possible, but we could stay in that trend and we could just kind of float around this support resistive area here and then come down. So, but if the 10 does come in, then we could see that little pop up and then down. But as of right now, kind of range bound for today, I believe. All right, so let's jump into Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, we're going to jump up into the monthly. And on the monthly itself, we made that new high, coming back down, basically finding support as of right now on the top of this previous candles. And, there is pretty decent support even just off the top of these wicks and whatnot. And that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So just kind of sitting on that support. Will we continue bounce off, continue higher? Possibility. We are, technically still bullish on everything here. And again, even if we do fall down, there is a ton of support sitting at this 53,300 level. This is kind of the level that everyone's been looking for quite some time. Filling in, the 50% of this candle. And there are some nakeds, which we'll get into, but as of right now, coming down into this area is probably highly likely. Again, we're just sitting on the support level, so it could be push up and try and take another high. It's possible. 3.2 is sitting at the 83,000 level. And then support, which is extremely, very, very strong currently at the 53,000. So the 10 is coming down. It's almost into that range. We don't have the mean reversion on it quite yet. But if we do get that mean reversion, which won't happen for another month anyway, then we could see that push down to the 43,800 area. But again, like I said, tons of support, and even this 100 yellow at 42,000 ton of support. So yeah, so it's kind of where we're at right now. On the weekly, we get a little clear indication of where price really wants to go. So we do have the mean reversion on the 10 currently. 20 is just starting to enter for the most part. Yeah, it's kind of borderline between support and resistance right now. And that's kind of what we're showing even on here, support and resistance. So we've already come down into it. It is currently holding. Huge imbalance right here for the most part, but price does want to come to that 60,000 mark. If it does get to there, odds are it will push down into the support of 54,500-ish area, and then likely bounce from there, coming back up, unless it goes full bear. But again, even on the weekly here, we are extremely bullish. We've been riding the 10 trend line and the top of this 20 Bollinger Band for the most part. We did come kind of down into that 50 here, showing a little bit of weakness, but again, bounced right up to the wick to that 10, riding the 10 still, and for the most part riding the top of that 20, which is extremely bullish. So we are showing weakness though. Price is showing that it does currently kind of want to reset a little bit before trying to push higher, or going full bear, but definitely still bullish on the weekly, 100%. 3-day support at the 50 here, which is aqua, and 10 has kind of come down, didn't really reset for the mean reversion, so we're kind of just carrying, more or less we're going to be carrying in between the top of this resistive band here at 71.6 and support at 63.4. So I can see us consolidating here for a little bit for the next, let's see, 2 days basically. So yeah, I expect a little consolidation, just bouncing in between here for the next couple of days, and then let things cool off a little bit on the heat map here. The one slip, everything's to the extremes for the most part. Even the 200, which is purple, is kind of coming up into that red zone here. So get a little bit of cool off, and you can see even here, we had things were kind of pretty well heated up. 20 cooled off nicely. When it went back into trend, we were weighted to the upside on the quasi, and then we had this nice push up. So it'd be nice to get that 20 to come back down, cool off, come back up, see what way the quasi's weighted. If it's weighted to the upside, we'll see that upward direction again, and if it's weighted to the downside, then it'll be to the downward direction. So, but again, like I said, full bull on the 3-day here. Daily, still showing quite a bit of decent strength. We're not riding the 20 or the 10 anymore, but we are coming down to that 50, which is our target for the most part at 63,000. So we have the mean reversion on there. The 100 just kind of came in, which is the yellow here. It's weak, very weak. So, it's acting as a very weak resistance as of right now. And then again, very strong support sitting at that 60,000 level. And then we also have the 20 white 3.2 sitting at 59.3. So, more or less, I would say that for the more or less prices, more or less is going to kind of come, probably float within here like that, and then maybe come down to the 100. So just kind of a little bit of sideways, and then pop to this 100, which is currently sitting at 53. But again, it's going to take a few days to get there, probably more than a few days. And then even then, that 100's, in 3 or 4 or 5 days, it's going to be sitting at that 55,000. So we kind of know the price does want to come to 53 though. So it'll just be a matter of how long it takes to get there. So, we do have some nice imbalanced candles here. Nice support sitting at that, pretty well where that 100 is anyway, at 53. So the likelihood of coming to 53 is pretty high. It's just a matter of how it'll do it and whether we make one more high before that happens. The possibility is there for that one more high. Based on the daily, I'm not even going to say that, because right now the 10 is so low that the probability of popping through this 100 one more time is very high, coming up into that 10, possibly to this resistive area. So basically kind of filling in this quick rectangle on it, coming in somewhere into this block, or even just fill this imbalance right here. But So the possibility to come into there is pretty high as of right now, and then push down a little further. So again, strong support at the 200. 4 hour itself. On the 4 hour, we came down to the 100 support level, which held. And just getting a little bit opposite mean reversions on here because we kind of pushed into that trend to the downward direction. 100 yellow holding as support. You can see that the 100 didn't go below the quasi here before the 10 started coming back up. So we had the mean reversion on the 10, 100 holding. The 50 is actually very strong resistance right now on the 4 hour. So, you know, well, in all reality, we can see the push up to that 4 hour. It does want to come to the 20 white here at 68.2 as of right now. So it is possible that we can kind of come up into here, get a little bit of a wick, or this just comes to here, acts as resistance, and then we get another push down. So kind of how I'm seeing it right now, just because of how strong that 50 is. So on the smaller time frames, we're looking for a little bit more up and then continue to the downward direction. So I'll jump into the Nexus here and go over the Nexus. If you're liking these videos, help out the channel by clicking on the like and subscribe and help grow the channel. I really appreciate that. And we'll jump into the Nexus here. So on the higher time frame on the Nexus, kind of do have a yearly naked still. You know, we just tagged it for the most part. We filled the quarterly, but you know, we just tagged the top of this yearly, so we do technically have that level at 34.8 still, which isn't the greatest. You know, we are still quite bullish. You know, we broke above the previous year high, pretty well to the midpoint, a little above the midpoint of the yearly R3. And then again, coming down for the new quarterly. So price didn't break the previous 3-month high before coming down, which isn't, well, it doesn't, I'm not even gonna say anything right now about that, but more or less, you know, we came into that quarterly, filled it quite nicely. Do we continue down to the actual pivot of the quarterly at 61.3? Well, very possible. That 53,000 level mark is sitting, well, just below the quarterly. So it is possible that we actually come down to this yearly R1, which was our resistive levels here. Some nice imbalanced candles. So it is possible that we come down to that 52.4 level and then see how price reacts. And then the advantage of doing that as well is this quarterly, once we break below this quarterly level here, because on a quarterly time frame, you know, we are looking for that continuation to the upward direction, taking it to previous 3-month high, trying to get to this 3-month R1 at 83. That'd be the 83.3. So if we did fall below the quarterly at the 56.3 level, a lot of institutions would want to short or start to look for their shorts. And then if this did held, then we could get a little bit of a push up liquidity grab on those new shorts. So or we just continue in the bearish direction. So but I do think that 53 is kind of where we're going to come to eventually, no matter what. And then it's, you know, like I said, it'll just be a matter of, do we get to that 83.4 level, or even you know, the R3, take a liquidity here. Way on here, the 4 hour. Be nice. I'm gonna go to a higher time frame for this. I just want to see something real quick. Yeah, so it's not the greatest, but you know, we do have a nice impulse candle down here. So if we get another impulse candle down, then this upward trend could be over for the most part, but we'll see how this quarterly breaks anyway, for the most part. And like I said, we're kind of looking for that 53 no matter what. Even if price goes up higher first, we're still looking for that 53 currently. So let's take a look at the monthly and the weekly, and then we'll call it quits on this guy. Let me just get rid of these brush marks here. All right, so we'll get rid of the daily, but you know the daily is there. You can see the price shot right up into that daily pivot perfectly, starting to break down as of right now. And then even on the monthly, and well, even for the weekly for that matter, you know, we opened up above the weekly. We were looking for continuation to that upward direction on the weekly until the lower level broke, which we kind of knew it was going to break anyway. We had some nice impulse candles down. So, you know, we are looking for a continuation to the downward direction. Even with this push down here, kind of look at, we kind of want to take it this level here or to continue in our downward direction just because of this one impulse candle. We did come up into this daily, so it would be nice to kind of take out the liquidity here at the 63.8 level to show that we are continuing in the downward direction. So, but we just want to keep seeing these impulse candles to the downward direction. So, but again, back to the weekly stuff. You know, we broke down below that weekly. Where do we look for price to come to first? We look for it to come to this level here, which it more or less did. You know, we had some wicks come down, but the bodies closed above it until we kind of broke down further. So this was, you know, we tagged the top of this, but for the most part, we still had this naked pivot. They like to still fill that 0.5 levels. So we kind of came into that 0.5. We are kind of holding the bottom level of this weekly band. So, you know, no bodies have closed below it yet. So just wicks. So coming then to that weekly S2. And then even on the monthly itself, if you take a look at the monthly, here's the previous monthly, which is also a naked, which kind of tells us price might come down even more. Bringing that naked bottom of the range is that 53,000 level that we're looking for. So monthly, and here's our monthly S2. We're sitting at the weekly S2 as of right now. So we were looking for continuation. Oh, get that brush mark back. We were looking for continuation to the upward direction until we break this lower level. Once we break that lower level, which is acting as resistance again, then we look at it to come back into this area here at that 58.5 level. And then we really want it to get to this guy or into these levels right here. And that would bring us back pretty much to that 53.7 and then the pivot here at 55.6. So, you know, looking pretty good of coming into this range. So plus we're showing weakness on the weekly, the monthly, and the daily's just kind of starting to decide what it wants to do here. But the daily itself is actually in a downward direction now. If I look at the daily, let me just get rid of these brush marks here. Oops. And zoom in so we can see the daily a little better. But the daily itself, for the past 3 days has been in the downward direction. We are looking for a continuation to the downward until this level breaks. Once this level breaks, then we can start looking back up to the previous day high. Again, there's some nice imbalanced candles here, which typically would want to fill, to be honest, at least kind of the first one here. So 67.9. So that is still a possibility, but as of right now, you know, we are bearish on if we just go based upon this until we break this level, and then we can kind of decide how high we want to go after that. But again, even with this guy here, nice tight range. Tight ranges typically mean there is a possibility of a trend change or a pretty explosive move. And you know, for the most part, we did get a nice push down, giving us a percentage of 7% on that day. So typically when we see these nice tight ranges, it means that there's going to be a pretty impulsive day or a trend change with impulse. So, and we got the impulse more or less. So I think that's all I got for Bitcoin. If you guys have a asset or coin you guys want me to take a look at, put it in the comments and I'll do that. So you guys have a good day and enjoy God bless.
Visit unRekt.me and download our free powerful indicators. And join our community of traders in our Discord server and get full access to the Machine Suite Indicators, the Nexus Suite Indicators, and the Nexus Screener.